All right, I got a lot of shit here to review, so let's get to it. Of course, with all of us being shut in from the COVID 19 lockdown that we're all on right now, of course, I'm taking advantage of this time to watch as much as humanly possible, which is kind of what I normally do, but this is even more so. I seriously have watched so much stuff. Probably 8 out of 10 things I'm not even gonna fucking review. I keep meaning to do one of those like rapid fire reviews things where I knock out all the TV series and stuff I've been watching, but for now we're just gonna stick to this. So what do we got here? I got a bunch of movies. I don't even know what I'm gonna review right now. How about Ambulance? We'll just pick from the top of the literal stack of movies I got right here. So Ambulance. All right. So I watched this one. When did I watch this? Last night? Maybe night before last? Anyway, somebody sent this to me. I honestly have a bunch of movies here that I've just, because I told you guys, right here, this row right here on my collection, that is just movies that I have not seen, that I either bought or people sent to me. And I'm just trying to knock out every one of those. Or movies I've been wanting to rewatch and haven't seen in so long. But yeah, so let's talk about The Ambulance. Now, this is a Scream Factory release. It stars Eric Roberts. It's got James Earl Jones. It's got Janine Turner in it, who I haven't seen a whole bunch of outside of Cliffhanger. She's Stallone's main chick in that. And then she's also obviously in Northern Exposure. For any of you Northern Exposure fans, I was a big Northern Exposure fan, have seen every season, and I love that fucking show. So that's how I know her best. It's been a long time since I watched that show, though. So I'd be very curious on what my memory of that show is. I remember Joel Fleischman, and I remember like Sicily, Alaska, and I remember pretty well Maurice and all those guys. But I'd be curious to go back and watch it now. It's a really fun show. Anyway, so yeah, I think 2 minutes in, we're not even talking about the movie yet. So for someone who's never seen my channel before, they're like, next already. But for those of you who know me, this is typical shit. So, The Ambulance, if you haven't seen it, I don't know if I'm going to get into spoilers or not. I didn't write any notes for it. Pretty much all of these I didn't write any notes for. I've just been watching them, wanting to enjoy them. Taking notes is actually kind of distracting. Sometimes I'll be writing things down and I'll miss dialogue and I'll miss shit, and it makes me like come in here and be like, oh, duh, duh, duh. And people are like, you didn't notice that? And I'm like, well, my head was down. I was writing and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this guy, played by Eric Roberts, Josh Baker, his name is. He has his credits here as Eric Roberts from the Human Centipede 3 final sequence. Really, that's the best Eric Roberts movie. I get it, it's horror, but Eric Roberts has been in a lot of horror. Eric Roberts is amazing, okay? And his daughter is the most gorgeous thing ever. So, it should say Eric Roberts' daughter, father of the hottest chick on earth. But yeah, really, Human Centipede. So, anyways, Josh Baker, he's a comic book artist, and he works for Marvel Comics, and Stan Lee is his boss in this movie. The actual Stan Lee plays Stan Lee in this, and is his boss at work. And he goes in to draw comics and whatnot. And it's awesome. The movie itself is super fun. The dialogue is ridiculous. It plays pretty serious. What I loved about this movie, though, is just the delivery of lines. Like, there's certain lines in this. Eric Roberts' character in this movie is hilarious to me. But anyways, he's this guy. He works for Marvel Comics. He is this fast-talking ladies' man, and he pursues Janine Turner in this opening sequence where he's following her around. Which, it's funny how this is always portrayed in movies, because if the chick is into you or you're good-looking, like Eric Roberts is in this. He's got a full-blown mullet, but he rocks the shit out of it in this. And this is 1990, if I remember correctly. I remember I was looking at, 1990, man. This feels very 80s. Although it's probably filmed in 89. But yeah, I mean, the way it's portrayed, this is creepy shit. Like, this is total stalkery. Like, girls would never go for that shit in a million years unless the guy's super hot and she's super into his fawning, into his relentlessness, if you were. So, I always do laugh with these kinds of sequences, but it's true in life. I mean, I tell people all the time, as a guy, you kind of gotta risk being a weirdo. You kind of gotta risk being a creep. You kind of gotta risk being a guy that girls go to their friends and go, oh God, he's a fucking creep, you know? Like, you just kind of gotta risk that if you're gonna go for broke. I've done it. I think most guys have done it. But you also need to know when to cut it out. Now, yeah, one time in 1,000, a girl might actually be saying no but meaning yes. But are you really going to take that chance? And should you? No. You really shouldn't. But yeah, the way he pursues her. But anyway, so she gets ill right there while he's in going after her, and an ambulance takes her away, and then he's obsessed with her, so he tries to track her down to a hospital. And she is not at the hospital, so he looks all over town for her. And of course, this gets him into some crazy antics with this gang of ambulance driver doctors that are selling people on the black market and whatnot. I'm not sure what to say of the tone. It's mostly serious, with almost like some of the dialogue reminds me of something like, I don't want to say it's as corny as like Joe Piscopo in Dead Heat, but kind of like that. Like, where Eric Roberts' character is just so over the top, and the shit he says, and the ending is hilarious to me. The stuff with Janine Turner at the ending, towards the ending, should I say, and the way he reacts to all of that had me in stitches, man. I seriously thought that was so funny and so well delivered and so kind of like a breath of fresh air, honestly. Just is how it kind of wraps up. You mostly expect it because of how things are going with another girl in the movie. But just, it's his reaction more so than what actually ends up happening, because that's not that hard to figure out, but the way in which he responds to it, I just absolutely loved. This is definitely a hidden gem. Another character that's in this, an actor that's in this, but a character I loved, was Red Buttons' character. Red Buttons plays this older man who's helping him out, and he meets him in a hospital, and he's another, foul-mouthed, witty, high-strung character. And just the way they play off of each other, their buddy-buddy comedy in this, they're not together on screen a whole ton. Mostly they're separated in their sequences. But he really nails this role that he's given in this film. So I dug the hell out of that. James Earl Jones' character, everyone's character is really kind of just eccentric. That's why I say the tone is hard to lock down, because I want to say it's serious, but even James Earl Jones, his character is so bombastic and out, like, just he dials it up to like 11. Like, he has a girl who works for him, and she comes in and she's trying to tell him something, but he's like screaming at her like he's angry at her, but it's like a game between them or something. I don't know, but whatever it is, I had a great fucking time with it. I was very pleased with this movie. I never was bored. I was always looking forward to what was next. Everything seemed so ridiculous and over the top to me, in all the best of ways, whether it was the dialogue, the the scenes, the plot, the way it was drove forward, all of that stuff. Horror, I mean, I guess this could be considered horror. It's more of a thriller. It's more of like, yeah, it's like a thriller dark comedy with horror elements at times, but much more thriller than horror. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. As I said, I'm not going to get too into spoilers, but someone sent this to me. More than likely, it was either Caleb Vila or, well, I guess it could have been freaking Guillermo Canales as well. But wow, okay. Now, yeah. Well, I have 3 people who send me shit all the time. And I just honestly, they've sent me so much at this point that I just forgot. And I don't have internet at my house, so I can't go back and like filter through all of my videos and find who sent me this stuff. And I feel like an asshole because it's taken me so long. But honestly, guys, like, I can't even begin to describe how many fucking movies and how many TV shows and how much shit I want to watch and that I have lined up and that I just look at and go, okay, this. And then I try to stick to the patrons. And then I try to, knock out the Slasher Sundays and the Monster Mondays. And of course, I'm taken by the blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm really not. Oh, wow. There you go. And I knocked my mic out. Now that is some real shit right there. This is not something you get on other channels. This is why most people edit so that they don't fuck up right there. I just broke my fucking thing and everything. Wow, that's a shame. Well, there you go. Honestly, I kind of love when shit like this happens on the channel. Okay, my fucking thing's broken. That's fantastic. So. I'm still posting the shit out of this. That's hilarious. All right. Adios.